Which oof, oof.
I'll put Black Line Luxuries in the back when I get when the video process.
Oh,
I just got it under black and white ash, episode 3 for April.
all good. Listen, if they don't know by now, I don't know if they want to know. I'm just kidding.
If they don't know,
Ron,
all right.
what is stronger, a pride or a rice patty?
Man, you know what I'm gonna go with, man. The pride is the king of the. You don't get the nickname King of the Jungle for a reason.
I mean, you don't want to be messing with a pack of lions when your claim to fame is you grow in water.
Those who know. Those who know.
Excuse me while I sip my chai.
Well, let me just make sure we are
I did.
running.
Yep.
All right, we up and running. Uncle Lee in the building, A-Rod in the building. Mystical, Harold, what's going on? Funny thing about A-Rod, his wife actually started calling him A-Rods with a Z on the end of it. Got him his own personal Glencairn glasses. He sent me a picture of that. I thought that was pretty awesome.
So I had the pleasure of hanging out with A-Rod last night. Last night. A-Rod graciously gave us a couple hours of his time to help pack club boxes last night.
We definitely appreciate that, A-Rod, for sure. Got Carrie in the building, Cigar Man, Rick G, what's going on? Farrell, Milwaukee P, Mike, Carlos, SB in the building. Kylan, what's going on, man? S. Clark is in the building. Miss Prudence in the building. Hopefully everybody's having a good Monday, good start to your week. As you see from the title of the video, this is Black and White Ash episode number 3, where we will be covering April's box. I'm here with my good man, my good friend, James Garcia, the manager of Black Line Luxuries. I am your graceful host, RonReal TV, aka El Padrino, aka Double R. We've got quite a few topics that we're going to be covering tonight or this evening, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Sit back, pour you up something to drink, have you a nice cigar. Hopefully, if you still got something from this month's pack. I know I don't. I kind of smoked this pack like Carson did, so shout out to Ash.
I mean, I obviously have them, but
yeah, Carson usually, as soon as he get in the pack, and he's like, man, I smoked all of them in the first day. They all were good. So shout out to him. I'm sure he'll be in the chat at some point.
Anybody that wants to fly up to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and pack club boxes, the door's open. You got a guest room at the house. We'll eat Indian food, we'll smoke cigars, and we'll have a damn good time. We won't eat anything that needs soy sauce, though. I'm feeling the type of way, people. If you haven't picked up on the thread, Ron and I were reading some comments before we got on here. And so I'm trying to be unfiltered, but also positive and not too much of an a-hole like my wife tells me I tend to be.
I hear that from time to time.
We'll see what happens as the night goes on, though.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I don't like is when you claim to be family and you fucking with other people's family. I'm gonna pull Lee. Guess what? If you're fucking with part of my family, I'm gonna be there. I'm fat and ugly. And as Toby Keith once said, I'm only as good as I once was, or I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. That's all I need is one shot, baby.
We've been pretty quiet, but the pride might end up speaking today about it. So I'm sure later on in the stream we'll cover some other topics. But James, so what else? So we had April month. We had that month of April, which I thought was another very successful box. Like I said from time and time again, very, very consistent. If I do say so myself, give us both a pat on the back. I feel like we've been doing a great job. Like I said before too, I always feel like number-wise, I feel like if we're 80% satisfactory of the cigars that we choose that you like, I feel like for us, that's a great thing. I've always said we don't expect everybody to like every cigar in every box because we're trying to expand your palate, trying to get you to branch out with different brands that you may not have had any smoking experience with. So, but overall, with us saying that, I'm very, very, I sit back as we're closing in on the first year of the club and
Mystical says I'm not ugly, just a little thick though.
I said, I know you were laughing. I know somebody in the chat said something crazy. So, but
listen, yeah, you're absolutely right, Ron. I feel like this box represented a really good moment for us.
Yep.
I don't think I personally didn't get any feedback about cigars that they disliked or, they weren't pleased with. I don't know if you got any. And the cool thing about this, I think that people feel really comfortable, the club members, the family, the pride. At this point, they feel comfortable with us and they let us know when they're like, nah, I don't like this, I don't like that. And I didn't get any this month. Did you?
No, I didn't either. And for me, I always encouraged it too, right? So another thing I've seen from a lot of other clubs, it's almost like looked down upon if you say anything negative about the cigars that they place in the boxes. That's never going to be the case with us. I feel like that's a very, very unrealistic thing for you to think that every cigar in every box is great. And I really think that's very shitty. And I take offense to other clubs. I take a full offense to other clubs when I watch responses and I watch people almost shit on people for saying that they don't like a particular cigar or make excuses for it. So that's not a very realistic approach. And that's not how I want us, me or James, to be looked at with Black Line. We always welcome constructive criticism. We welcome James, trust me, James hears it enough about his customer service. I hear it enough about not posting content frequently enough. So we both get our fair share of criticism, but like I said, we use it to try to make ourselves better. Yep. And that's the way it is. So yeah, we definitely encourage you guys to keep giving us 100% feedback, whether it's something we want to hear or don't want to hear, because I think that we can agree it makes the club stronger. So
absolutely. I mean, listen, for those of you that have been with the Black Lion journey since I took it over at the beginning, then when we launched the club, I've never run from the fact of this is a one-person operation, learning as we go, trial by fire. Like I make no apologies for that, because nobody's fucking perfect. Nobody is. I don't care what bullshit they feed you. Nobody's perfect. There are errors, and to err is human. I think those who are willing to actually expose themselves, it goes a little bit farther in my book. But maybe that's why I get some of the feedback I do. But we don't run from it. Like, I am who I am. I work every day, every month to change and improve situations for the club and for Black Lion. And those that have stuck through the journey and have seen the evolution, they're the ones that reach out to me. We get their direct feedback. I value you guys' opinion more than you guys know.
Right.
So with that said, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think just kind of want to reiterate on that too, because it's like, we talked about it before. James can't say it, but I can. Like, give my man a break, man. He works a completely different full-time job. He's married. He has a child. He's got a lot going on. And like I said before, when you're comparing, and I hate seeing comparisons, when I've seen some of the emails, they compare James to whole entities. And I think that's very unfair. You can't compare him to Neptune Cigars or Smoke Inn or Corona. You can't. These people have teams. It's literally just James, and just recently has gotten a very small amount of help. Very, very small. So
yeah.
I could say that.
Yeah. Listen, it is what it is. Bring it on. I'm not running from anything. I am improving. I'm growing. And I know that the numbers speak for themselves. The community is speaking for it. So it's all good. Yeah. So Ron, before we dive into the box, for those that don't know, if you're not in the Facebook group, you might have missed it. The Black Lion Prides Rock. We actually hired somebody to help with just club boxes. His name's Dan Hartman. He's a local guy. I've known him for years. Might be the smartest cigar guy I know, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm not placating to him because he's not in these things. But Dan's a great guy. Really enjoy him, and I was pretty happy to bring another friend into the team, not somebody off the street. Axel's been kind enough to, volunteer his time and be around. So like it's nice to really just see the response as we grow, and you realize like, shit, this is not manageable anymore. My wife and my kid can't do this with me anymore. It's sad because I lose some time at the house, and I miss my son helping to put all that crinkle paper in there because it's cute as shit. But at the same time, it's like, it's his business at the end of the day. So with that said, I am busier than one. Yes, Lee, that is exactly the truth, but it is what it is, man. It's self-inflicted. Yeah, self-inflicted success.
Yeah, and it's only gonna get better from here.
So, Ronald, what are you smoking though? Because I'm just gonna keep pushing this back.
Am not smoking something out of the box because all of mine are gone, but I am smoking a cigar represented by a brand that was in April's box. I'm smoking a Warped Skyflower, which is a fantastic cigar.
Ooh,
kind of hard to get your hands on it, but if you do your Googles like Unc says, you can find them still. So
yes.
What about you? What you smoking on?
I am smoking an Unbanded that will be in next month's box. It's not unbanded when you get it, but it is right now.
Can't give away the details.
So, no, other than there's like 2 boutique brands that Ron and I love. And it's like 1A and 1B on the day that we love them the most. Usually Ron is with one and I'm with the other. They're right next. It's in the humidor. They're right next to each other here at the shop because it's like I walk past them and I usually have to stop there and I don't look at anything else in the humidor. So it is what it is. So the club and the box for April had my personal favorite from Plasencia, the Alma Forte. Yeah, Alma Forte Sixto, which is the 6x60 six-sided box press. I don't care what anybody says. Big ass cigar. To me, I can get past that ring gauge because of how unique that six-sided box press feels to me in the mouth, because it doesn't feel like the true 60. And then to me, the complexity and the notes, I die for the espresso, the dark chocolate, the leather, and the pepper in that thing, man. Like those things hit it all for me. It's one of my favorite all-time cigars. So it is the opposite to the other one that Ron likes that we've had previously with the Alma Forte line, the Generacion, which is the Solomon, which is the 7x56 at max.
Mm-hmm.
So we took our chances, because Ron's like, man, listen, it's a good cigar.
Yeah,
It's 6x60 though.
I know, yeah. So that's the running, like I've said that before in live streams, and that is one of the few exceptions. There may be a few box presses, or what the thing is, if you see a 6x60, there's going to be a story to it why it's in there. Because the running joke for me is like, hey, you guys will not see anything. Oh, you definitely won't see anything over a 60 in the club. Just because I know what me and James smoke, we like to be authentic. We don't run around every day smoking 78, 80 ring gauge cigars. Nothing against people if you prefer that. We just don't like that. That's not where the club is gearing towards smokers like that. We're gearing it to a completely different audience. That's what we're catering it to. But this is one of the few cigars I feel like in the larger ring gauge. I smoked one literally a day or two ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I honestly think this is Plasencia's best work in it. And I think they're kind of chasing that drag and trying to make a blend that's better than it. And I just don't think they can do it.
No, there's something. I'm not going to say Padron-esque, but there's something about when you know your tobacco, you know your region, right? Because they grow their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know your product. You know what you've got. The blenders who are doing their job right. The team, the rollers, the punchers. They know what they have there.
Right.
And there's just sometimes you just have to stop. It's just that simple, And so it is, that's my opinion. Carrie, Oliver's getting replaced. He was a little sad, but I promised him he still got his toy, even though he wasn't helping. That was the deal. Every time Oliver helped, he always got to go pick out a nice toy. He was a little sad because he didn't get to play in the crinkle paper, but it is what it is. So yeah, but I think you're right. I think they're chasing the dragon. I'm not going to mention another release that they just had that I just think fell flat on its face.
Horrible cigar.
And I had high hopes from it because of the ring gauge, because of the size. I was like, yes, thank you. Thanks for not doing the solid. Yeah.
I smoked that cigar and I was like, how dare you put this name on this? How dare you?
Well, exactly. And so for me, right, when you talk about Plasencia, right, for me, I always initially tell people it's high quality tobacco that's been aged. It has unique characteristics because of their access and their growing capability. It is not your typical, it's not the typical leaf that you get out of that region because they have the time to sit and age it. They've got such a strong team there. And that's why, when I was like, hey, I really want to try this 6x60, t-shirts guy, he's made the joke, anything above a 60 is a big old donkey.
Yeah.
That's why I felt comfortable with it, because the quality of that product for a $21 cigar stands on its third leg. Get what I did there? Sorry. I'm still feeling a type of way. I'm like trying to like mix in these like Chinese references.
It's been a wild past couple of days, I say that. But actually, for me, I think my personal enjoyment factor of a Plasencia cigar, the second one that's right behind the Alma Fuerte for me, is the Reserva 1898. You know how I feel about this cigar.
Oh God, yeah.
It's just not an American release cigar, so that's why it's one of those things. But so I do have faith that Plasencia can make great cigars. They've proven it, but just that most recent release was just, for me personally, a swing and a miss, But
and this was our third Plasencia. So for those that remember, we did the Alma del Campo Traversia, which we were the first club on the market to have that beautiful new box press edition. We did the Alma Forte Generacion 5, the Solomon, and then we did this. Obviously, we gave you, in my opinion, 3 of the best Plasencia makes.
For sure.
So yeah, so it's been really cool. We'll probably take a little rest on Placencia for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool to be able to get those 3 out there for the market, because I do think those are the best characteristics. There is one more that I want to feature that we just have to balance, because it is such a unique shape as well, and that we try not to expose to the club to it, because that is some feedback we've gotten back as they don't like that shape. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Octavius, Mr. Green from Philly. I have to say, I saw your name twice, and I've been waiting to slide this in. You're in our paper this month, man. We've got you in the little paper in the box. Actually, we shout you out. We say Ock from Philly. So that is, yes, we are talking about you when you see that. And so Ock, you should know what cigar it is then. Do you think he'll know, Ron?
I don't know, man. I don't know. He might be able to guess that one. Mm-hmm. I'd be very interested. So
we'll see. All right.
We featured that cigar. The next cigar we featured, we both were very, very big fanatics of.
Yeah, we were.
As I showed, hell, I still got it on my table. And James has one too.
I'm pissed. I left it at home, man. I left it at home. So for those of you that maybe thought we bullshit you guys sometime, I'm really want this community to understand that Black Light is not a bullshit club. These are high quality cigars that they may not hit your palate, which is fine. But we are providing cigars that fit our mission of everyday cigars you can get again, that are high quality, that are rolled with an intentionality, and there's a commitment from the factory and the team. And that Ron and I and Nick, we all smoke, we all love. How hard, think about this. The LFD was released in 2016. Both Ron and I still have our original ceramic containers that the releases came in. That cigar means a lot to us, because I told Ron when we talked about it, it is the perfect medium everything.
LFD just does not blend like that, or not as a whole. They blend so much more heavier than that.
Exactly. So it to me, it's one of their best blends because of how approachable it is. I'm a big fan of the Dominican Republic and their tobacco. I still think there's a lot of untapped potential there. I know Nicaragua is really at the high. I think they're kind of at the pinnacle right now, but I think the DR still has a lot to offer. I really believe that.
I don't disagree with Nick. You remember me, you and him were sitting down and talking, and I think my palate prefers Nicaraguan tobacco, but the statement Nick made was he feels that, because we were having a talk about me becoming a blender, and we were talking about the different areas, and he was like, I think you should try to focus more on Dominican Republic. I feel like you can put out more flavor profiles, and there's more versatility in the Dominican Republic. And I necessarily wouldn't disagree with it. I feel like Nicaragua has its things, like Cuban tobacco has its thing, but I feel like Dominican Republic, there's proof with La Flor Dominicana, one company that we featured that we'll get on later, Davidoff, DBL that we did the collaboration cigar with. There's so many different companies in the DR, and they smoke so much differently than each other. But when you go to Nicaragua or Honduras, you can have some differences, but you can kind of taste a lot of similarities in there, so.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, you mentioned Davidoff. Obviously, with that comes Avo, right?
Mm-hmm.
La Aurora. We featured La Aurora before. I know not everybody's a big Don Diego fan. Yep, Fuente, La Gloria Cubana, H. Upman, the Cameroon is primarily from there. There's a couple other and also think about it, Monte Cristo White, right? Staple in almost every new cigar, whether it's on Cigar Auctioneer or Cigar Bid, you get a 5-pack for $20.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much there. Then you capped it off with Arturo Fuente, the Don Carlos, Double Robusto is one of my all-time favorite cigars, and the Dominican Republic's tobacco in there just speaks for itself.
Yes, and you know how I feel about the Añejo.
So for me, it was so for me, it was important that because we are very, we do a lot of Nicaraguan, obviously, that's fine. We're open about that because it's just where the market is right now. But, we also want to make sure we're mixing in all these other stuff, these other regions as well. And this chat is moving fast. Either that or I'm just missing stuff.
Y'all keep typing away, man.
So the third one. This was a James influence pick.
Yep.
I own that. Anything Connecticut's probably James influence because of how Great. Hold on real quick. Because I love how the Connecticut. What's up, hon? How you doing, man? You bringing any Cubans for us tonight? Oh man. All right, I'm back in. Sorry. Yeah. I just I firmly believe as you get an educated and more experienced cigar smokers, Connecticut's need to play a role in that, because you just can't be blasting your palate, and you've got to be able to find those flavors that exist, like the citrus, the white pepper, the cream, and the cedar. And when you find a really good Connecticut that's not rushed, it's not screwed over, we've done a lot of them, and they're hard. I think we probably won't feature Connecticut for a while because I think we've gone through the ones that we really feel are top tier. There's 2 left, but even then we still struggle to balance them in.
Right. You probably will start seeing a lot more Habano featured. You guys know Maduro's starting to kind of slowly creep back in. Well, there is a specific Maduro cigar that me and James have talked about in the past month that we're working on trying to get in the club too. So yeah, we definitely we're always talking and in context and staying in talks about what's new and what's going on or try. I think our biggest talks are, James will ask me what's something you remember from 4 or 5 years ago that you don't hear a lot of people talking about? Or what's some cigars you remember? That's right. How the Triumphador, the Black Label, this 1994 that James, when he reached out, I was like, yeah, I love it. And I was like, yeah, I still got my urn from when I first had that cigar. And there's a couple other cigars that we haven't featured yet that you probably will see. So, yeah.
Well, and so listen, so some of it, I'm going to be honest, is from a sales perspective, right? Like, y'all know, Black Lion and my livelihood depends on you buying cigars. No bullshit there. I'm not going to run from that fact. The reality is we don't make money off the club because that's not what the club is intended. The club has this mission of bringing cigars back to your palate or to your palate that you may have missed, you may walk by, or you may have forgotten about, because there's this sexy trend that what's new. If you ask most of the companies, they smack us when they ask what's new, because they're so tired of it, because you just got to rush and produce a new product and you forget about the core line stuff.
Well, here's another thing too, James. So if you've only been smoking for a year or two, guess what? The cigar that's 3 or 4 years old is new to you too.
Exactly.
Technically it's new. So,
but yeah, so when you're always searching for the new thing every month or every quarter, you really forget about the cigars that have influenced and paved the way. And that's what the LFD and the La Galera Connecticut are for me. They're staples in my humidor personally because they are just consistent. I know what they're doing. They're high quality. They're, La Galera is still a boutique company. They're, it's Hochi, but it's still boutique. LFD, I don't know if we really call them boutique anymore, but they're just a company, they have a number and they don't produce anything more than that. So for me, that's why these matter, because sometimes new, I hate this. We talked about it last time. Age doesn't mean better. New doesn't mean better.
Right.
So it's,
I gotta say, me and Lee Maker talked about that too. I feel like a lot of these companies, as of late, I won't mention any names, but a lot of really specific named products and cigars that I've really loved in the past, some of the newest additions and some new things, I feel like they have just been rushed, man. And they're just not there. I think that so many of these companies and brands are trying to get caught. And I understand, because like James said, these people's livelihoods literally matter about the cigars and stuff they sell. But at the same time, I feel like at what cost though? Because all right, you sell me on this cigar and I smoke it and I feel like it's rushed. What if that's my first time dealing with your company? Now you don't have you risk me coming back as a continued supporter. So I still say, do right by the cigars, do justice by the cigars, and put them out when they're ready. That's what I love about Francisco Almonte with DBL. He's just really specific about, I'll release the cigars when I feel like they're ready. So
exactly. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to say that every new cigar is bad, obviously, but the one thing with this club that Ron and I we don't talk about it out loud to you guys, but so I'll kind of leak it here. And it's not, we didn't set out with it, but we quickly realized the power and the influence we had is to change the community better. If you go on YouTube and you just read some of the comments that people leave, you go to Reddit, Facebook groups, there's just a lot of people that don't know what I consider to be basic answers.
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't learn from working at a shop. I learned by doing my research, which Ron harps on all the time. And I think our club has really started to help shift that mentality of like, this is what a quality cigar is. Like,
Right.
It doesn't have, you don't have to spend $20 for a quality cigar. We have 3 that are all under $9 here because they do X, Y, and Z, and they're different from each other though, but blah, blah, blah. And like, that's an intentionality that Ron and I have really focused on when we're picking the cigars, is like, these cigars are good, but they're old.
Right. And I mean, again, too, so it's just like, for me, like with this club, as I look at it, it's like everybody that's been a member of the club for any significant amount of time knows, and I stand by that. It's kind of, I'm biased because I'm the curator of the club, but I look at other clubs and I pay attention to other clubs. You can't tell me of a better club, in my opinion. And I look at clubs and I'm a fan of some, I'm not a fan of some others, but you can't sit there and tell me that you think that what we're doing at the price point we're doing it at there's nobody anywhere in the field close to us. We do four cigars traditionally. Some months you get 5 for 38 shipped, and some of the cigars that you get put in there for that cost of the club is just, for me, I think that's unheard of. And me being unbiased as a cigar smoker, if I'm visually looking at this club, this is a club I'm like, that piques my interest, because when you start to really hone in on your palate and you start to get accustomed with brands and you look at the quality put in, it's like, oh, this is a no-brainer. Why would I not join this club? So our mission is not to become this massive conglomerate of a club. We like growing, and of course we want to grow, but it's like me and James stated, I think on episode 201, we know that we should be well over 1,000 right now, without question. But that's fine. We're running the turtle and hare race, and we're okay with being the turtle, because in the end, who won? So
we're all chasing that soy sauce stuck on a stick. Hey, Lee, I see your comment. I mean, should I flex that I have personally 2 boxes, not 2 coffins? I have 2 boxes of that $500 cigar. What the fuck's it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you're not a good person.
You know how I feel about Davidoff anyway.
There's a
Hey,
did I say that out loud?
My channel is 18 and up, so you can say whatever you need to say. Get it off.
No, I'm just tired of the bullshit. The one thing, so like, listen, I'm coming to Lee's defense because I like Lee. Lee's good to me. Lee's good to the Black Lion. Lee's good to all of you. Timestamps matter. I have pictures. I have screenshots. Timestamps matter. You can't play the hero when you're being the villain most of the time.
Right.
I got an ugly guy that just walked in here.
Oh man, I hear my man.
He's here. He can't hear you. Well, he can't even see you because you gotta like scoot this way.
How's it going, Ron?
What's up, Nick?
Oh, you can't hear you. Hold on. I gotta switch it over.
Too many complicated bullshit going on here.
See, we're
just... How's it going, man?
Good. How you been doing?
Amazing every day.
So for those in the chat, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
No, I was saying you're looking good, man. I get to see you in a couple weeks.
There you go.
So for those in the chat that don't know, this is Mr. Nipam Patel, Nick, as we affectionately call him. He is the owner of Harrisburg Beer and Cigar and Black Lion.
Watching?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a good amount of people watching.
Yeah, he's letting these 2 rascals run a Cigar of the Month club. So you guys have him to thank. This is why this club is even off the ground. So thank him, because he's to do a club.
Yeah. Lee Mack says, "What's up, Nick?"
Hey, Lee, how's it going, man? Can you hear us?
Well, yeah, Lee. Yeah, he's watching us at home.
Oh.
He's probably in his underwear in his house.
So they can't. Whatever.
They talk. They type right here.
I see. This is complicated.
I can make this joke because I've said it 100 times and it's not racist anymore because it is what it is. I somehow work for the only Indian that doesn't do IT. Like I don't mean. I've said it enough. He's laughing at this point.
Hey, like I do, he's probably the only one that doesn't need to do it.
No.
There you go. There you go.
Oh man.
What he said tonight, Nick lets his money work for him.
Man. What you smoking on, Nick? Looks like you got a Lancero over there.
Yeah, harassingly. I don't know where the heck is the camera. There we go.
Nice.
Let's see. Harassingly Lancero.
It's the edition of Limitada. It's the one that they won't sell us enough of to put in the club.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Yes, we do.
Well, then I'll be smoking for everybody and keeping everybody in mind.
All right, so on to the last one. Since I've talked my shit a little bit, we have the last. I honestly, I think it's my favorite out of all four. Ron, how do you feel about this one?
I don't think that's
because you
yeah.
have since month one. Month one was the last time we had a warp cigar in, and every month they're like, I want warp. They're like, there's no inventory. There's no inventory.
That's true. I was gonna say because I've been smoking warp or that's Corto for such a long time. And you know what I don't like about that cigar, or what I don't like about people's perception of that cigar? They see a $9 little bitty short cigar and they're like, oh, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And that cigar, from what I've seen, the consensus of the feedback, people have loved and really thoroughly enjoyed that cigar.
Oh, God,
and that cigar fits in for me, like when I'm in a car or if I don't want to really be out smoking past an hour. That's something that to me is a box worthy. I would always grab it. Great. There's only probably 2 warp cigars I can think of off the top of my head that I don't really care for. Everything else I am really a big fan of, so.
Absolutely. Listen, for me, it's got that beautiful Corojo 99 in it.
Mm-hmm.
It both on the wrapper and the filler, then it's got the Creole 98. Shit's all screwing it.
So holy, he said that size just doesn't do it. And so I think that's not, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like we all have our opinions and what we think about it. We knew coming in, because for a lot of people look at clubs and look at cigars for value. You always still look at value. So a lot of people will look at it and be like, $9 for such a small cigar. Well, I can get this, or I can get this for $5 or $6. But sit down, smoke slowly, and really appreciate what the blend is for what it is. And at the end of the day, too, Holy, it still can be like, hey, I got a chance to experience it, whether I liked it or disliked it. I can live with that. Me and James always say, stand on our backs if you feel like you don't like the cigar, if it didn't do anything for you. That's cool. Like I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna say I think you got a bad cigar or hey, it's fine. So I get that. I'm not surprised you said that because I know a lot of people think that they see a small cigar and like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, and so the cool thing. So for those that weren't on the Zoom with Kyle Jealous, monthly. Here's the plug. Like we do our monthly Zooms with our industry people because I don't want to be the person you're getting knowledge from. I want it from Kyle Jealous, Terrence Riley, Risty,
Eric Espinoza.
Like, join the Zooms.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But so Mystical nailed it. Kyle talked about that cigar blended for the intentionality of being used in the morning, kind of like a jump start, right? A shot of espresso, like smoke that full flavor, nice strength, little kick. It gets you going.
Right.
And I have never smoked that cigar as my first. Well, I had. I'm not gonna lie, I have, but like I didn't make it. It wasn't intentional, and I have done it pretty much every other day since. It's a very, very good way to start.
Right.
So if you have more of those at home, if you want more, you know where to get them. Obviously, try it in the first cigar you have in the day when you're commuting to work. See what happens. See if you have a little bit better day. Maybe you don't feel like you need to punch that coworker or other YouTube streamers. Lee, looking at you, you should smoke that first, buddy.
And y'all know, and anybody that's been watching me, they know, how I feel. I feel like I don't, you'll hear a lot of people say smoke lighter in the morning and build up. While I don't disagree with that, that's not the model that I always follow. I always just say, I let cigars speak to me. I open the humidor door up and I look and whatever looks good at that time, that's what I'm going to smoke. It doesn't matter if it's full flavor, full body, full strength. I don't care. At this point, and I wouldn't advise this, obviously, but I feel like for me, I just smoke what I want when I want. I don't really let people dictate like you should smoke this only then, or you should only smoke this. Like I smoke it whenever I want to.
Exactly. T-shirt guy, you just. I make no apologies for us. My marketing sucks. I'm clearly not the best at videos. I have a lot of things I fall short on. You know what Ron and I don't fall short on is what you nailed. Our process and our selection. We don't clean out I lied. There was one cigar in the entirety of Black Line that we cleaned out of the humidor. It was the first month. It was the Warp Maestro del Tiempo 5205 that had 4 or 5 years of age on it. I saw it and I said, that cigar is going in the first month. Technically, we cleaned out our inventory.
Yeah, but like at the same time too, it's like we had what do we have in the first month? Maybe 50 or 75. something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we cleaned that inventory, but you got a 3-4 year old age warp that gets that cowboy, ash head. A lot of these people smoked this cigar and chased it down. So, and
I mean,
phenomenal in all 3 sizes.
Yep, we don't clean out human, like every cigar that goes in arrives at Black Lion either a month or 3 months before the box. It is bought with the intentionality of fulfilling our mission and our commitment to the pride, to you guys. It's still weird to say, so I'm like layering in that pride because group of lions.
And we don't get driven by if a cigar is number 1 of the year or if it ranked high on Cigar Aficionado or whatever list, or we don't let the market dictate what we're putting in the box. It's literally me and James, and we literally just sit down and talk about things we like and dislike. If it just so happens to be a newer release, cool. But as you guys have seen from the past, we have reached back into the vault and grabbed cigars that have been out for 5, 6, 7 years. It does not matter. If we feel that the cigar needs to be in the club, we try to find a way to get that cigar in the club. So
exactly. I mean, it's not easy. It's getting better inventory wise. There is one brand that I particularly love. They were kind enough. I was like, "What do you?" After like 5 no's, I was like, "What do you have in stock?" So they sent over the list, and so I sent it over to Ron. The one cigar that they do have in stock, we happen to have on our list. It was buried a little deep. It was in like year 2, and it was like, well, I guess we could move it up about 8 months. That's okay.
Right. Hey,
it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I'm looking at the chat. Look, man, you coming after the Warp Corto and you drinking Topo Chico?
Who's coming after the Warped? Who said that?
No, I was messing with Holy because he was saying that the size didn't really do much for him. Like, come on, Holy, drink some better mineral water, man.
Oh, that's funny.
It's so carbonated and so bubbly, man. I like Pellegrino, or if I drink some of this,
Yep. Yeah, no. So overall, Ron, I was really happy with our box. Like I don't know how many times we keep saying it. We don't expect you all to like them, but we expect you to be able to go into it with open mind. Excuse me, my chai is getting me, and actually, understand why we selected them, and why you're like, or why you could see why we think they're quality cigars, because they are. Whether they hit your palate, obviously, is up to you.
Right.
But we hope you guys really loved another good box.
I'm just reading the comments.
Me too, man. And so my head now is thinking like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said all that shit, because now I'm probably gonna get a video made after me. But like they say, exposure is good. All 300 people that might watch it.
You remember how I put the BS cigar review video out and people were reaching out to me like, I don't know if you should have did. I'm like, that's what I think and that's what I feel, and I'm gonna put it out there. And some people will agree, some won't, but all exposure is good exposure. So,
well, and Ron, as I've told you from day one, time stamps matter. I have videos, I have proof, I can find, because I do my research. Don't forget, where you've been an ass many times over, and now you want to play the hero.
Yep.
That wasn't. I guess I shouldn't have used the knife. At like the point is like, yeah, you don't
now
get to play dumb.
The video will get taken down because you insinuating violence.
No. I work in I open boxes all day long. So good news for those who May boxes are shipping. If you have been charged, your box is shipped today. I think most people started today and tomorrow. May boxes will hopefully freaking be there as originally promised by the first or the first-ish of the month. When I talked about like growing and trying to be better, we did some internal strategizing how to do it. We hired Dan to help with the process. And we nailed it this weekend. And, I took boxes to the post office. So very excited that the boxes will get there, because there was one cigar in there that we would like you all to smoke on Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
We love the blender. The brand, some people are hit or miss on. It is what it is.
Right.
Personal relationship, cards on the table. I like him. We've drank together. I've driven 3 hours to see the guy just to hang out with him. Didn't talk any business because I like him. Ron likes his stuff. But, it is Cinco de Mayo, so we've got a cigar in there for you guys all to enjoy on that day. And hopefully, tag all the appropriate people, Black Lion, Ron, the company, the owner or the blender of that company. So very excited to be able to get that out. And hopefully this will be the first of many months at this timeline where I don't screw things up.
Now, I just saw a comment. Somebody asked where have I been. I don't know if you watched the live stream from a couple weeks ago, but Cigar Madness is on hiatus. Shout out to my brother Eric. He's got some stuff going on. I do too. Just taking a little bit of a break. Actually, shout out to Cigar Show Tim and Brandon Wells at over at Down to the Nub. We did an interview today too, and I actually touched on that a little bit more. I'd said in the video, and I still feel the same way too. I'm still getting complete fulfillment and enjoyment from curating the club and doing and working with Black Lion. But as of right now, where I'm at with reviewing cigars, I'm just not in a good space. It's just not really enjoyable for me right now. So I want to take some time, kind of rejuvenate. That way, when I turn the camera back on, I'm 100%. You guys have always heard me say, I never wanted to feel like it's a job. I never want. I didn't start the channel for it to become a job. I like it to still be fun. And I don't, you know, for me, I look at so many other content creators and I'm like, it's okay to take a week or two off, man. You don't have to post content every day, or you don't have to post a video 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. You're going to burn yourself out, man. It's going to happen. It's impossible. I will say that now. Any content creator that's putting out stuff every day or 4 or 5 times a week and they tell you they aren't getting burnt out, they're lying to you. Because if with me and James, we both are married, we both have children, you have another aspect of life going on. This is taken away from that. If you really care about family and you're that kind of person, it's going to wear on you, man. It's going to wear on your family. So I'm in a space right now where I just want to take some time away. It's nice to smoke a cigar and not have the camera on me. But you guys know, the people that have been contacting and reaching out to me, you guys know I'm still around. I just haven't put out anything in a while. We'll be back better than ever, man. We'll be kicking ass here soon. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
So speaking of kicking ass, Black Lion Select goes live next week on Monday.
Yep.
I am going to be honest. It is going to be password protected. If you want in, you have to message me to get the password. Not that like we're being like secretive, but there is a limited spot, and those who have reached out, and we want to make sure they get in. It's not going to be a free for all, unfortunately. So if you want in, message, because there are only a few spots left, Ron and I, and we'll get you the name, or we'll get you the password to sign up for it. But pretty damn excited for that, because I think, you know, from a marketing perspective, if I had to say it, we're going to redefine cigar luxury. We're really going to be focusing on quality over quantity again. We've never been a club just out for numbers. We've been a club that's trying to do things differently and what we feel is the right way. A lot of people say it, you know, they'll have 3 good months and then they'll fall off. That's fine. I think we've been really damn consistent all the way from start to where we're at. And I don't think it's going to stop. We have all the cigars picked out for the first quarter for Black Lion Select, and I dipped into my personal stash for 2 months. Ron did the same. We're scouring local honey holes for some cigars with age that aren't around anymore. It's going to be a different club, and it's going to be on a different level. So if you're interested, so Black Lion Select is a second tier. I'm sorry, for some reason I assume you guys know everything, and I should maybe clean that up. So Black Lion Select is a $75 a month club, and you'll be billed every quarter. So you'll pay for 3 months at a time. It's going to be limited to 25 people. Initially, it'll probably reach 50 to 75 at max. But Padrones, Opus X, all those
first, yeah, we've already got the first few months mapped out. It's gonna be nuts, man. Which y'all see what's getting in there. The presentation's on point. It's gonna be a lot of little touches, but like I want to say again too, even with the select going on, I don't want to feel like anybody that's not in select or that's a part of the regular club is going to be compromised. The bread and butter, what we really focus on still is the regular standard offering. Like I don't want any of you guys to feel like, oh, they're gonna do the select club, so the regular club is gonna get sacrificed with cigars. Not gonna happen. Not going.
No, really the birth of this came because as Ron, we've been curating. There are just months we run into the wall because we can't get enough of cigars because of production issues, or just certain situations, and so we just want to use them because they're great freaking cigars. But all right, Padron 40th, arguably the best Padron that they make. The price point reflects it. We have enough to do 50 people in the club for it, and we can't get any more. And so like that cigar is phenomenal. I mean, like, it is arguably the best Padron they make. We have it.
You might see some Atabay, Byron, Opus X. You're
gonna see Opus X. You're gonna see God of Fire. You're gonna see the Lost Cities. You're gonna see Unbandeds that we can't tell you where they came from, but we'll give you hints. And we want to keep that small because we don't want maybe some of that stuff getting out. Like, it is meant to be like you and the family. We don't talk about this.
Yeah, and for me, like, when Nick and James came to me and presented me with it, it's like a curator's dream. Like, you was like, wait a minute. Because like you said, it's just the reality of it, right? So a lot of cigars I've suggested, Nick and James have really fought for. And it's not that we can't get them in, it's just the amount. And so it's like, to be able to kind of run a second tier where it's like they don't really say no, where they don't say no, it's like, okay, what about this? Yep, we'll be able to do that. What about this? Yep, we could do that too. So it's like, I get all fulfillment of like my mind and creative juices going here, and then I'm still able to operate over here and keep them bangers coming, like Adam said, on the regular club too. And like I said, trust us, the regular club's not gonna miss a beat. I think if anything, it's gonna make us work harder to make sure the regular club still stays good, just if not any better. So
yeah. So you guys can message Ron and I on Facebook, Instagram. You can email Black Lion. I'm writing down new names. So Andre, Tom's, Axel. I think Axel, we talked about it last night. My bad, man. Harold Blackwell. And so what we're going to do, Kevin Jenkins, we'll send you guys the link and the password, and we'll give you about 2 weeks to actually go to sign up. And if you do, great. If you don't, we're going to move on. But those that have initially reached out, we want to give them the opportunity to do it. And like, I'm not trying to be, the reality is, like, it is what it is. We know that's a hefty ask, 75 times 3 every quarter. Like, that's not for the faint of heart, but it allows us to get creative really quickly. So, I'll send the link out to everybody starting next week, and then you'll be able to sign up. And if not, then we'll open it up to the public if it doesn't fill up. All right, P-roll, I got you too.
And in my defense, if you send me a message, all I'm gonna say is message official Black Lion's Instagram page, which you should already be following anyway. So just putting that out there. Somebody like, oh, I messaged Ron. It's like, and he didn't really say much other than message Black Lion's page. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, SB, what? SB, hit me up because I know who you are, man. And I think I know who you are anyway. I might just be like making shit up as we go, though.
Oh, it's Sammy.
It's who?
Sammy.
Oh, I was wrong. I'm glad I didn't make that selection. Honestly, Axel, that's kind of what it is. What happens in Black Lion Select stays there, man. Like, you're gonna get some stuff that you're like, how? No, maybe.
Yep.
Probably. Craig got you. Prudence, Anthony Smiley. So you guys will have your window. We're excited about it because it's.
If you don't get in the first 25, the plan is we want to see how it works and how it goes, and then like James said, it's gonna eventually spread. So if you don't get in the first 25, don't. I know how that's going. Man, damn, I missed it. It's gonna work out. Just.
Yeah, Reginald, it will be in addition. So you can, if you're in the regular club, you can join the other one and you can keep both or you can drop it. Moving forward, though, if you want to get into the select club, you will have to be in the regular club, though. Lee Mack, yep, I got Brother Mathis involved. Without giving away our inventory too much here, like, we have stuff here that Nick and I hate to. Jesus Christ, look at your ash. he's got like an inch and a half on this Lancero,
and I can see Nick over there looking at you like, what? Oh, it looks
drop
good.
it on my laptop, please. And,
hey, Nick, give it a little shake.
Yeah, he'll have to be buying me a new laptop tomorrow. Yeah. the reality is we just have things that, because Nick and I are collectors of sort, and we thought this was one of the best ways to, like, because we struggle with how we divvy this stuff up. You know, do we sell it online? Do we take care of the walk-in customers? But it gets a challenge because when you get the walk-in online, sometimes you just get the hunters, right? And they just want to flip it. So we thought this was an appropriate way when we were talking to Ron about this. This is how we take care of the people who are all in. That's why we're asking for the quarter, you know, the commitment every quarter, because we know you're not going to flip them. You're going to actually smoke and enjoy the curation process.
Right.
Everybody says you got a nice ash, Nick.
No pun intended.
No, Nick's not going to say mystical all day long. All day long, this is the voice. It's like Jesus is here. See, I can't even do it that well. Mystical might be the best dresser in all of America.
Oh yeah.
He's that guy.
This is not too far off.
Oh, I just realized Nick can't hear because I have it in my AirPods.
All right, there we go. We are not going to your OnlyFans, Mystical. So Ron and I were going to talk. We were going to talk about dry boxing. Do you guys have any interest in talking about dry boxing, or have we talked your ears off already?
What does that mean?
Nick doesn't know what dry boxing means, Nick or Ron.
So maybe this is a good time to talk about it.
I want to see what the chat says. I'm just messing. I like picking on Nick because he'll get me back later.
Oh, it always comes back. As they say, what goes up must come down.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
All right, no interest. All right, so we're gonna move on.
Danny said yes. Everybody saying thumbs up. Or Mr. Junior or M Junior said thumbs up. Rick said thumbs up.
Hey James, I missed how many 3, 4, 5? I don't know what you're.
Yeah, they want you to talk about it.
I don't get it. 3, 4, 5. Did I miss something?
What happened?
MK, he said, "Hey James, I missed how many 3, 4, 5."
Maybe he's talking about the spot. I don't know if he's talking about how many spots are going to be open for the select group or not. Or
Ted Muhammad, you can buy a golf shirt when Nick here says yes. I've been bugging him. There are some of you have seen some soft flame lighters that have like a Lemac logo, a Black Lion logo, a RonReal logo. We just don't like to spend money here unless it's on cigars, because that's all that matters to us. Like, we truly only care about the quality of cigars, and that other stuff just kind of gets in the way. Golf polos included. And that, I think Nick's kind of salty because when I ordered the first round of golf polos, I somehow didn't order his size. So I gave him this
running around a big ass shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So Ted, they're coming, man. I promise they're coming. It's all coming.
I was talking about how many cigars. It'll be 4.
Oh, yeah.
4 cigars for select.
Yeah, 4 cigars for select. You know, I'm sure we'll do what we do, and we might throw a 5th one in every. Oh, there went the ash.
Same model, probably depending on budget and what's going on. If you, like you said, might be some kind of gift thrown in there. It might be a spare cigar. It just kind of depends on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited for it. So it's just a different level, and it's meant to be exclusive. It's not meant to. We've said it, man. It's not about just trying to mass market something, and we want to be exclusive. We want to have this feeling. And if you're in it, you're in it. If not, you'll get your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so all right. So dry boxing. For those that don't know, I'm a huge advocate of dry boxing. So it's when you take it out of your. There's a couple ways to do it. You don't necessarily have to do it in a cigar box. You can do it in a Tupperware without any humidity packs. You can do it even just on your kitchen counter for an hour. Yep. So I'm a big component of dry boxing in cigar boxes for about a day before I smoke. And all it does is it pulls the moisture out. So if you're somebody who constantly has to relight, or you find that your cigars pop, like the wrapper will split and break, typically that means you have too much moisture in your cigar. That's why, it's a simple principle. Like, if a leaf is wet, it's not going to catch on fire. But if a leaf is dry, it will burn better, smoother, and easier. So when you have too much moisture, whether it's for a multitude of reasons, you live in Florida and the humidity is 100% every day, or you just have your humidity set to like 79 in your however you store, dry boxing could be a really good way, and can be a good way, to getting that moisture out quicker without ruining your experience. So I have friends that all they do is they'll leave it on the counter for, like I said, an hour or 2 before they smoke, but they live in a non-humid climate to do that. If you live in a very humid climate, put it in a Tupperware or put it in a cigar box and let that moisture be pulled out of there. So yeah, I'm a big, it's to me, if you've never dry boxed before, give it a try. Maybe on one of your lesser cigars, let it go for 24 hours and see if you can actually notice a smoking experience that is completely different. I advocate it all the time. I talk about it all the time, or I try to talk about it all the time, because it does change the experience of that cigar.
Hence why I keep my cigars at a cooler humidity anyway. Anybody that's been following me knows it's not uncommon for me to smoke between 60 and 63. Like I just feel like I get a better experience when my stuff is cooler. If I'm getting above 67, 68, I just won't smoke them that high, you know. And somebody asked me before, do you use the humidimeter? I have one, but I never use it. I can always just touch my cigars and tell if it's in the area where I want it to be at. And that just comes from repetition and time and handling cigars. You just know.
Yep.
You know.
You really do just know. I hate to say it that way, but like when we talk about like educated smokers, I'm not trying to say people aren't educated, but it's you don't know what you don't know, right? And I'm trying to help you say that you don't know by giving this advice for free, which is how it was given to me. It's not a big secret. There's enough articles and videos out there, but it will change your experience. And you're going to probably notice, oh, maybe I do keep my humidors at home too high. Like there's a reason we ship with 69 humidity packs rather than 72.
Right.
Because we feel, Ron and I, that is better for us.
Yes. Shout out to Rob Cunningham for the donation and Uncle Lee for the donation. Appreciate you both for sending your dollars over my way, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so Adam and Martin or Mr. Junior or M Junior just said it. Like if it's a really humid area, you're screwed just leaving it out in public. So
right.
So actually, I take cigars out of cellophane. I don't store in cellophane personally, because it's like, I guess the easiest way to say, you're trapping stuff in there. Because when they're rolled, they're put in cellophane not almost instantly. They'll sit for a while, but depending on what factory and who you're working with, you just don't know when that cellophane was placed on the cigar. And you let it breathe. You let maybe the ammonia, you let some of the other stuff out that's trapped in there. So that's my personal belief. We ship obviously in cellophane because of COVID. I don't want to like manhandle more cigars than I have to. Like I already wear gloves when I pack boxes. I have my mask on. We don't smoke while we pack boxes because we're trying to like keep that as sterile as possible. So that's kind of the reason I don't take the cigars out of the cellophane for the club is I want them to breathe.
And you know what, the cellophane too offers a little bit of another kind of security, like he just said, and a layer of protection when they're kind of in bags being shipped. And even though, well, everybody doesn't know it, but cellophane is a breathable material. But if you're trying to dry box, taking it out of the cellophane will speed up the process of dry boxing. So it's almost like, you know, if you put a coat on and walk outside and it's cold, you'll feel the cold, but it just takes a little bit longer for that cold to get to you. You take the coat off, you feel the cold a lot quicker. Same thing. You can dry box with cellophane. It's just going to take a little bit longer for it to hit it. So,
yeah, I got you, Octavius. You're good. Yeah, like it really is all personal preference. Like some people taste it, some people don't. I do, whether it's true or not. You know, in my head, I taste it anyway, and so that's all that matters to me because I know I'm kind of crazy.
We all are. The people that admit it though are the ones that are normal to me. Everybody's a little crazy.
Yeah, like, you know, maybe I should have let something die tonight and, you know, and it really doesn't involve me, but you're coming after my boy Lee. Maybe I should have let it go, but I'm a little crazy. And when you're wrong, you are wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm a grown-ass man. If I am wrong, I apologize to my wife. I'm not going to sit there and run from it. But if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Humility is a lost art.
Man, stop picking on my boy, you know, Vic, High Desert Man. He's not even in the club anymore, and I still mess with him because he's a good person. He's a good person at his core. And you had to have your boy jump in rather than you, and then your boy's trying to pretend that Lee was going after him rather than your boy because you got to stand up for your boy because you know he can't handle his own stuff.
Insane, absolutely insane.
In the membrane, yeah. So that's my thoughts on cello. That's my thoughts on dry boxing. It really is something that I would recommend that you just experiment with, figure out, you know, what works for you. I know some of you in the chat, you love your humidity meters,
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't use them. I just don't personally use them.
Yeah, like get to know your cigar, right? It's like your wife or your husband or your spouse. Like know the way they feel. You know, I'm just gonna say like the touch is a lost art in today's world. This is off the deep end. Nick walked in. He's like, "Why the hell do I hire James?"
It's like what is going on? And Ted says, "Shout out for the donations. I can't afford." Ted, you play golf. You play golf, Ted. You can afford whatever.
We appreciate you, Ted. Ted keeps me honest. Ted's one of those guys that does constructive criticism the right way. Like he will email me. He's like, "Hey, it should say this, or it should do. Why did you do this?" And like I'll answer, or I'll say, "Just tell me what to fix." And he never like gets on my case. He's always like, "Hey, you missed this." I was like, "Thank you." Like that's Ted gets that. Like we're fighting the battle uphill. One man shop because Nick doesn't do anything other than write the checks, which is what we need.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I was just saying with humility, nobody's always right. So it's like when he reaches out to you, people have given me constructive criticism. Many of other things, it's just like when you go through life and go through certain experiences, you learn that as a person, like. Humility, man. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to say, man, I had that completely wrong. I apologize. But so many people I see now are just like, nope, I'd rather go down to sell and ship than to just say I was wrong or I misunderstood something.
Yeah,
that misunderstanding can really cost you, and I think it is. It's gonna cost you a lot.
So, Nick, they are requesting you to speak. You want to slide over and give the people what they want? He hates it. He hates this.
Nick hates that. I know. I can see it. Nick's like, damn, I shouldn't have came in here.
What am I talking about? I don't even know.
I think they just want you to speak so they can hear your beautiful bass voice right now.
Nick, I'll ask a question to make it easier. So when you got Black Lion off the ground, you've been running Harrisburg Beer and Cigar for 15 plus years. When you got sold on the idea to do
I'll tell you this, I did not get the Black Lion up and running.
Well, the brain behind it.
No, he's money, man.
I am strictly finances. I can tell you how this would work, if this would not work, if this would pay the bill, it would not pay the bill. I'm that guy. I do enjoy cigars, but if I had to do, in all honesty, if I had to do this whole video calling Zoom, I'm not built that way. Yes. I like in person. I can talk to you for hours if I'm in front of you guys, but I'm kind of lost. And there's a whole, let's see, what all. Who's this guy?
That's Mystical. That's government name. Well, I won't say your government name. Mystical Gent on Mystical Gent 20, right? Or just Mystical Gent?
Mystical Gent.
On IG, all over C2 Main Robber is what he is on like Facebook. I'm not going to say his government name out loud, obviously. Yep. Reginald, so with tubes, I keep them in the tubes because tubes usually have cedar in them, and cedar tubes help pull that moisture and some of those things out, and it sticks in the cedar rather than the cigar.
So Nick, I'm gonna ask you too. So as you smoke cigars, me and James have our opinion. When you just looking at cigars in general, when you smoke cigars for pleasure, mm-hmm. what is only something? No, but I got a chance to finally meet Nick in December, man. And it was a good time sitting down and picking his brain and talking to him and hearing his thought process and how the motor runs and what he thinks about it. Like you just said, hey, his finances or what's going on. So Nick is very big on consistency with blends. He's very, like, I've noticed that too. When we pick up cigars, he's like, all right, this one's good. I smoked it tomorrow, or I smoked it the other day before that. It smoked nothing like that. And for Nick, that's a big no-no. He likes very consistent cigars.
I do like consistent because I think we, as cigar smokers, we gravitate towards a certain taste, mm-hmm. a certain palate. So when we pick up that cigar, if it changes, that's not what we really want. So I'm big on it. I look for companies that are consistent. If they don't have their process together, there's a lot of companies that make cigars. Everybody would probably have their first run right. So once that first run is done, you want to know. And there's a lot of big names that have to tweak the blend, because at the end of the day, it's the year. Like, if you go, and get into the wine business, those grapes change every year. there's a reason, the grapes go cyclical in a way. Like, certain years, this region is hot. It takes a few years for their area region to be really good again. So I think it's the same way with cigars. Everybody will tell you everything about the blends. The one thing they will never tell you is how they age their cigars, how they mature, how they ferment the cigars. Those, I guess, because, let's say if you take the country of Nicaragua, you have this many regions that grow tobacco. They can pick and choose tobacco from the same region, where Padron has the farms,
Placencia, Aganorsa.
Everybody has their farms within all those different regions. But there's a way they fermented that after so many years, it kind of, the ammonia goes away, everything comes to a standstill. Then they make the cigar, and this is how it comes. And there's always some kind of tweaking going on to keep that taste alive.
Yeah. And that's why the club, I think I want to let people know too. That's another reason why for us, I think me, Nick, and James all agree on. We see the cigars where people have like you just said, it's very easy to make a very small run of cigars and they taste great. But we all like to focus on, and that the club is we're bringing forward to you guys great cigars, but these cigars are cigars that are good, and you can get them over and over and over and over again, and you get a consistent experience. To me, as the kind of smoker I am, if I picked up a Warped Corto or whatever, and I pick it up and I smoke it in September of 19 and I smoke it now and it's consistent, I reward it. So it's very easy. I feel like now it's very trendy for people to, oh, we got this particular cigar and it's like, all right, that's cool. And then it just disappears. So, and that's, go ahead, James.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to ruin what we had planned because like I said, I'm terrible at marketing. So surprised because you're talking about not getting cigars and getting cigars again. And it's in the chat a couple of times now. So, and I'm laughing because Francisco called Nick and I on Thursday.
Yeah.
So the RonReal DBL Black Lion collaboration was supposed to be one and done. You got what you got. Ron and I pulled into our humidors thinking this was it because we really like the feedback. We like making people happy. So Francisco calls Nick, brother, I got another 500 coming your way. So I was like, what the hell, man? We like told all these people, but love you, Francisco. So there will be more of the RonReal cigar coming. We are going to smoke it first before we sell it because we want to be able to tell you if we think the blend has changed, if it's smoking differently, or what's going on. We have no guarantees that it is going to be the same cigars other than Francisco has said it is, in his words and mouth, it is.
So let me correct James. I don't think I would say that Francisco would change the blend.
Right.
But it's just a maturing.
Right.
Of the tobacco.
Yep.
And then, when did my blend go out? December?
Yeah.
December, yep.
So, I guess you can hear it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the feedback I've been getting to, somebody literally tagged me in the video today or a post today and they smoked it and I replied back, I hope you enjoyed it as much as you did the first time. And they said, I enjoyed it more. And it's funny, all three of us are on camera. And it's the running joke is when we first were going through blends and I smoked the first round, I was like, I don't think we got something. And James told Nick and Nick said, I don't think Ron is our dude. Like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. They talked to verbatim. Yeah, no, yeah. Just, like Nick's like, no, Ron doesn't know what he's talking about. Like this, no. But it's one of those things, like it's just, we all have mutual respect. And it's just like, look, I value Nick's and James' opinion, but it's just like, shit, I'm only going to tell you what I think, like, I'm just like, I text James, I'm like, I don't know, man, if we can pull this off. I don't smoke. I don't taste anything that's good yet. Like, I just don't.
Yeah. But that cigar has gotten better every month.
It does. That blend, for whatever reason, it just gets better with age. And when I got the feedback that the guy said he enjoyed it more so here in April than he did in January, it doesn't surprise me. That's a very good blend. And I think it holds up to age very well, so.
And so this time around, I appreciate all those that went in and bought other DBL cigars. We kind of had strings on them every time. Like, it was only club members. And you wanted the last run of the OG, you had to get the other DBL to support Francisco. This time, there won't be any strings attached. We'll do bundles of 10, packs of 5, and singles if you want them. So very excited to have that. We don't have them in hand yet. They're on their way. Ron, Nick, and I are going to smoke them to make sure just give our opinion of it. But it's Francisco. We picked him for a reason. We picked DBL for a reason. The guy, his motto is literally "Don't rush the hands of time." Something similar to that. Like he's not.
That's one thing.
That's oh shit. That is well. He worked. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't rush, and that's one of the reasons we picked him. Like we worked with him for a very specific reason. So that is there. It will be here soon. We'll smoke them. We'll let everybody know what we think and when they'll be ready to sell. So kind of an apology to those people who had maybe order more DBL, but thank you for supporting Francisco and DBL and Black Lion in that process. And you guys will probably get the email first then to dive into them.
Yep. Which, I mean, I even mentioned that on another live stream recently too. I was like, hey, we are in talks with Francisco about possibly doing another run. So this shouldn't come to a surprise from people that are really following along. So, but it's not a cigar that we got 10,000 of or whatever. It's another small run. So, just, I think the quality control can be controlled better when it's like that, when you got smaller runs. So.
It's tough to get those cigars.
So J. John 53, the answer has always been no. We made it a point to kind of maintain the exclusivity. And so Nick and I were just talking about it because, certain months we just don't have them anymore. Like they are what they are. We can get them, but there's just some back order issues going on. So we say no. It's meant to, I don't want to say reward, but like if you're rocking with us, you believe in the process, you trust all three of us here to get you boxes that are good. So
yeah, I mean we know this. We have some people that cherry pick. So
no, we do.
Which I hate that, and I don't want to reward people that cherry pick. I'll say it in public. I think that's horrible, but hey.
Yeah. So Nick, let me ask you. So April's box, the Plasencia, the LFD, the La Galera, and the Warped. What was your favorite out of all four of them?
Warped.
The Warped? Okay.
I've been on the Warped from the get-go. In fact, when James started coming in here before the whole black line, I think I gave you the cord on, like, have you smoked this cigar?
Mm-hmm.
Try it. And because it's a small cigar, 4x46, something like that. And then not a lot of people would even look at it.
Nope.
Plus, they don't have that many cigars. So Warped is one of the only companies that makes cigars, one blend for each size. And that's it, or whatever the concept is. But I really like that concept because not every cigar smokes the same in all 10 different sizes or whatever the heck you make.
You don't need 10 sizes sometimes.
No, yeah. Like you said, you might get a 109 style and the Robusto, or you might get the 46 ring gauge and the 48. I like that model too, Nick. And and he's such an anomaly in the market where everything is just going so big. Now everybody's going to bigger cigars, and Kyle's like, I'm not making nothing over a 52. I said that, and I'm gonna stand by that. And so
I don't know the mystery cigar or my blend. How is it then described in
the unbanded mystery in December?
The unbanded.
I've seen people trying to request that cigar again.
Oh yeah.
I've seen people asking about it.
Nope. There is one gentleman in the club. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Nick and I are legally not allowed. I know you forget things. You signed it. Don't worry. We are not allowed to say his name because he is a huge fucking deal. He reached out for a 5-pack, and I'm like, bruh, I can't. I'm sorry. There's just no more. So, yeah, it is what it is.
So that cigar, I wanted to make it in a 50, and I handpicked everything that went in that cigar. I want this. And I was just going down the line, and the guy was like, "What are you trying to do?" I'm like, "I'm trying to make a house blend." And he was like, "It's not going to work out because this is going to be a $20, $16 cigar, and you just can't have it." But I'm like, I call it my failed blend because I enjoy the heck out of it. Even now, what I have left, I guess.
So, all right, there is a small 50-count humidor that's not even close to being full that has all that's left, but we don't sell them because, for those of you who heard the story, right? We called our failed blend. Nick had grander visions for it. We give it out to VIPs that come in, or he wants a good night and his favorite cigar is not available.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't come out. Like even
So
if I go near that humidor, I get smacked.
the reason I went, the reason we can't get more, I had to buy the filler, everything that went in that cigar, I had to buy early on, and then over the years I would order my allocation of 500. So whether it's a quarter, every other quarter, whatever, I'll get it. I used to share it with a few other people back then, but then we decided to put it in. I'm like, all right, let's get it out because there's no more to be had, and we sent it out. And believe it or not, a lot of people, sometimes they say they enjoy it, but I've had a lot of people that told me they don't like it, and there's nothing special about the cigar. So to each his own.
Yep.
I happen to like it. That does not mean everybody else has to like it. But everything I wanted in a cigar, thick smoke, very well packed, the nicotine is there on that cigar. So everything that I wanted in an oily wrapper, like I said, everything I wanted, I put it in that cigar, and I was trying to make it a 50, but they said it would not work. They gave me some samples of 50, and it just did not, right. It just did not smoke well. So I had to settle for 54.
And that's pushing Nick's mouth, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I wish, like, because we've had some damn good smokes. So kind of circle this. I'm happy that Francisco made us another run. He's just a phenomenal guy, even better company, great fucking cigars.
Yep.
So for those that had it, awesome. If those who have not had it, I'm sorry. It's just the nature of the beast. We try not to do projects like this, but shit happens. And I don't want to end because Nick's on here, and I've actually got him talking, and he's dropping knowledge.
No, I'm heading out.
Well, here, all right. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Nick. So Nick, there are 5 cigars next month. There's the teaser, 5 instead of 4 again. Nick, I want you to pick the one, and you can tell everybody the one that you're most looking forward to them smoking.
The Foundation Highclere Castle. I think that's a very underrated cigar.
I agree 1,000%. I think the price point scares a lot of people away too.
Right.
Yep.
Plus Foundation, everybody knows Tabernacle, Nick Melillo's background.
Charter Oak.
But Highclere Castle, I think they pay some kind of royalties to that whatever. And that's what makes it a little bit more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I think it's something that goes away. I mean, I think our club is a lot of boutique guys. So they would pick on the HVCs, the Dreamer, but.
Yo, you're giving them all away. This is why we don't bring them on here. All right, cat's out of the bag. Forget all that shit. Only focus on the Foundation Highclere Castle Victorian. I'm not going to tell you the size. I even had the sheet covered so he couldn't see the rest of them.
See, this is what happens. I'm not good with all these things.
I think it's funny. I'm just sitting back laughing.
All right. Well, Nick has already ruined it. So, ladies and gentlemen,
sorry guys.
Nick, go ahead and tell them all 5.
Well, Lee Mac said, "Keep talking, Nick."
Let it fly. What's our anchor, the big boy of the month? Go ahead.
Luciano the Dreamer, 7.5 by 38 Lancero. So if you are looking for a full body complex, I don't think it fits that profile, but it's a very tasty cigar. It's not peppery. We liked it.
Loved it.
Yes.
But again, if somebody goes in saying, "Hey, this is going to smoke like a troubadour," it will not.
No. Nope.
Different blend. It's a different cigar. So
I think that factory is doing some really good stuff. I think Tabacalera Pichardo is doing some really good stuff.
There's a magazine on my desk, and that said something about Ace Prime or Pichardo.
Yep.
I meant to read it, and I did not read it. So, T-shirt guy says, "Keep talking, Nick."
So yeah, like I said, the Luciano Dreamers featured, as you guys know, if you're not familiar with that factory by now,
I do have this thing up.
They're working with Crown Heads. They've done the Juarez. They've done the Mil Diaz, which was a highly acclaimed cigar, which is very different than what Crown Heads traditionally does. I think it's a great cigar. But Luciano Morales I'm a believer now. He's put out enough different SKUs where I believe he's a good blender and he knows what he's doing. So that's another cigar that it's a very expensive Lancero. So most people would see it in a B&M and be like, oh, but I'm not going to pay $17 or $18. And again, with the club, we want to get you guys to smoke these cigars, enjoy them in hopes that you guys purchase them and that you like them and repurchase these cigars. So really excited to see the feedback on that cigar.
Jason, Nick is sober, man.
I am sober, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
So then the next one, we have the Foundation High Claire Castle Victorian in the Corona size, which is 5.5 by 46. Shout out to Auk from Philly, because we got the Monte Cristo 1935 Nicaraguan Demi, also another 5.5 by 46. Listen, I love the fucking cigar. I have loved the fucking cigar since it came out. I have told anybody, get off your Monte Cristo hate horse and smoke the damn cigar and let your palate tell you that it is full body and strength. It is going to punch you in the face. Have a Coke or have a chocolate ready because it's going to get you, but it is great.
Now stop right there. So we got 3 cigars in. MSRP on the Dreamers was 17, 18 bucks. Yeah. The High Claire runs around 15, and the Demi run. What was it run?
$12.99.
So 13, and then we got the Demi, which runs around was it 11? Okay, so that's the club, and you still got 2 cigars.
And so Ron, up next is your boy from HVC. What do we got?
We have, if you guys have seen me a few months prior, it was featured as the cigar of the month. We're going to be doing the HVC Serie A in Perla, 5 5/8 by 46. It's just a phenomenal blend. It's not something that's going to overpower you with strength, but again, a lot of nice flavor, a lot of complexity, just showcasing that Nicaraguan tobacco doesn't have to be very heavy, earthy, and peppery. But Rainier did his thing on that one. That's a blend that I think is vastly, vastly overlooked because everybody's talking about the hot cake or the 500th anniversary or but that Serie A is a cigar because if you look at the band, you're like, oh, it's going to be a cheap, shitty cigar. And it's just the complete opposite. I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback on that one too. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it. And if you can't tell, we're not one of those clubs that just only do Robustos and Toros where you can kind of tell they're clearing out inventory. We've got some Lanceros, we got some Coronas, you're going to get Robusto, you're going to get Churchill, you're going to get a little bit of everything. So we want to experiment with sizes, wrappers, everything.
So the last cigar we have is the CAO Zocalo Robusto. And the whole reason that cigar is in there is we had an event scheduled with Rick Rodriguez for Cinco de Mayo. And he was going to be here and we were going to do a live, whatever James does, live Zoom or YouTube, I guess. So whatever. So we wanted to give everybody a chance to smoke it. And that's why that is in there. So that's in, the 5th cigar.
So we're big, you heard us say it. We're big fans of Rick Rodriguez. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like it's not a fanboy. Nick and Rick have gone back. There's pictures in our lounge of Nick and Rick. They are tight. I am tight with him because of Nick, and I've got the opportunity. We drove to Philly a couple times to meet with them and just talk. No business, just talk.
And he's a very honest and transparent person too, which I feel is so rare in the community or in the industry right now. He's very transparent, even about his own blends.
Oh yeah, and me and Rick we go back quite a bit. I guess his first big project was the Amazon Basin, and we still somehow get some.
Man, such an amazing cigar too. Just that's because of Nick.
It's all because of Nick. So like what you think of CAO, I mean, we ask you every month, put some of that, what you think aside and smoke this blend, because this is technically a brand new size for them. They only had the Gigante in the previous release. The Mortal Coil, like we sold the shit out of the Mortal Coil. People loved it.
Yes.
Rick is one of the few guys that I trust sight unseen to smoke anything he produces. We trust him. We like him. This cigar, in my opinion, is a home run. It's great for the price point. It's $7.99 for the Robusto. There will be a link on Cinco de Mayo. If you're not doing anything, you want to hop on and smoke. Just no Rick, just Black Lion Pride Club members smoking away, enjoying the cigar on Cinco de Mayo. You get your Corona or whatever else, Modelo.
Your cervezas.
Like
cerveza.
Yeah, get your stuff, and we'll have a good time, and we'll celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Shout out to our boys down at Smoking Lead. Caesar and Rob, who championed that cigar too. So we're really excited about this box. I mean, there's a lot of money. You can, when you get the sheet, you can do the math. Ron will have his video up about it, but we're really excited for this month's box.
It's a good. I mean, I feel like I said in the very beginning, I just feel like the consistency. I'd much rather have a 7, 8, 9 box every month than some months it's going to be a 10 and some is going to be a 3 or 4. And you just going on this roller coaster. I feel like we've just been very steady, just very steady over this almost year we've been doing it. So hopefully all of you guys have been enjoying the club. I know from the feedback, a lot of you have been. And again, keep spreading the word about the club, man. Keep spreading the word, because at the end of the day, like I always say, the mission goal for us is to put as many good cigars in as many good people's hands as possible. That's it. So
Carlos,
the one thing I'll tell you, the bigger the club gets, it's a lot of hard work for me.
Oh yeah. So it was when we pitched this to Nick, and we were like all sitting around talking about it, and Ron was on the phone and we're chatting. He's like, "Yeah, this is easy. I got this. Not a problem." Nick's been in the industry for a long time. Indian mafia exists with Nick. All right.
No.
There is no such thing.
I'm gonna have a dead horse head in my bed tomorrow morning. But
yeah, you don't want to come up missing.
Shout out, listen, y'all know we love Nick. We work for him for a reason. He enables Ron and I to do this vision and execute it and get to this level. Like I flat out said it, and you've kind of echoed it. We did not think we'd be here. We thought it would be a nice 200 little person group, and it would be a lot of our close friends and family that just support us because they support us. If you guys haven't realized, we are being championed by non-members. I was on Reddit the other day. I was on Facebook. I saw non-members saying that we're the top 2 or 3 clubs that need to be considered. That's because all of you guys are sharing, you're tagging the companies, you're letting them know that we are who we are, you're advocating, and you're showing what we have said from day one, a consistent, honest cigar company that is not about making money off of your hard-earned money. A lot of you, we know each other, we've gotten to know each other. You're like Ron and I, man, we're mid-30 guys, we're still working hard, that paycheck matters, we invest wisely, we take care of our families. Whatever little we have at the end of the day to celebrate and have that hour and a half of serenity with your brothers or sisters of the leaf, you're with your family, your friends, and you're smoking, that matters. And we want to continue to be that for you guys.
And that's what honestly what made it such an easy transition for me to work with Nick and James too. Is just like, as you guys see, we're just up here talking. It's just not any Hollywood shit, no bullshit. It's just regular guys. Just like everybody watching the stream right now, we're just regular people, man. You watch some stuff and you're just like, oh, these people do think they're a big deal, huh? It's like, huge turn off to me.
Listen, when I see and Ron sees the work that Nick puts in to make these cigars happen, once we give him the list, we got to bring our end of it because he's working hard.
Yep.
Right now they're making me work really hard.
So, I won't say name of a company because we'll keep it a little we'll filter this one a little bit. There's a company that we want to use that we don't even carry in the shop. It's like, Nick, we need to open up this account. Ron and I are all on this cigar. We need to have this one freaking cigar. Nick sends the email again, fourth, fifth, sixth time.
And I will co-sign it because I'm like, what about this, Nick? Nick's like, I'm trying. I've sent emails. I'm trying.
Nick and I, we were talking today, and I looked him dead in the eye, and I don't give Nick a lot of ultimatums because I like my job. And I said, when we get to the trade show, you let me do the talking so we can open this account because I know how you feel about people.
So I'll tell you this, for everybody that's out there, I'm not behind the back kind of guy. I'll tell you like it is, right on the face. And even though James wants to take me to this booth, there's no saying what's going to come out of my mouth because it's whatever comes out, and they got to deal with it.
But we want the cigar, so I'm going to try hard to keep them. I'm going to put the bumpers on the bowling alley lane. We can't make any promises because we will let our feelings be known because we have wanted this cigar for months now, and we haven't gotten it, unfortunately. But we're trying our hardest. But if we get it, nobody's gonna be able to look at us in any other light other than saying this is the best damn club around. Mr. McGann, we're not talking about that.
You never know what can pop up. That's all I will say. You never know.
Yep. So, all right.
All right, guys. Good night. Thank you for chiming in. I gotta head out.
Always good seeing you, Nick.
Say what?
I said it's always good seeing you.
Likewise.
So you will see some footage of us in a couple weeks. Ron, myself, Nick, and Lee Mack will all be at the trade show. Lee Mack is going as press, but he's going to be there as Team Black Lion Luxuries. Anyway, we'll let him follow us around and join in the conversation. But we'll all be together. You'll see some content coming out of that. So you'll see a little bit more of Nick whenever I can get him around. It's way past.
All you see on the camera is him doing this.
Yep. So with that said, I'll go first. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your continued support of Black Lion Luxuries. I'll actually look at the camera so we can make an emotional connection.
See, that's where
make it real.
I'm trying to read, I'm trying to see the face, and here's the camera.
Folks, we talk a lot of shit. We have a little fun. We keep it honest, but thank you. You all make this worthwhile. The late hours, the drive, the fights that we have sometimes when we say we want to use a cigar and we don't use a cigar. You all make it worth it because we are fulfilling our mission of taking care of you guys. Thank you for being a part of Black Lion. Hashtag BLLCOTM. Hashtag Puff with the Pride. Because remember, when you're part of the Black Lion, you are part of our pride. You're part of our family. And we ain't taking shit from nobody anymore, folks. Ron, send us out.
I don't even know how I can finish off with you. I just want to kind of leave on a high note, man. Just stay quiet and just pull a Nick and just be quiet. But no, just to kind of reiterate, man, we don't take any of this for granted. Like we thoroughly really enjoy this. Like I said, at a moment in time in my life where a lot of stuff's going on personally, this is one of the constant things that is always enjoyable for me because it always challenges me with working with Nick and James. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This has become a very enjoyable part of my life. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting and following me, that's taking the chance on me, James and Nick, and trusting us with your money and the cigar picks and everything like that. Like I said earlier, the biggest thing you can do besides being a member of the club is to help spread it. Help spread it like wildfire, man. If you believe in what we do, if you truly do believe that. And on that note, man, y'all already know the name of the game is relaxation and enjoyment. And damn sure don't forget to be driven, never motivated. We will see you guys next month for episode 4 of the Black and White Ash. Y'all be good.
Peace.
All right. Thank you, guys. Good night.